Welcome to America at its Best. My name is Rebecca Painter and I'm coming to you live from State Policy Network's 30th annual meeting. There are more than 1,400 people here in Atlanta, Georgia. We have record-breaking registration numbers. It is so awesome that so many people have turned out here in Atlanta to figure out how state solutions can have national impact, to figure out new strategies that can help solve problems closer to home. Great news. We just finished a couple of nights ago awards night. It's the biggest night of annual meeting, and I have just found the Overton Award winner, Greg Sindelar. Greg, how does it feel to win the Overton Award?
It feels amazing. It's a little surreal, a little definitely humbling, but it's an amazing honor. Joe Overton is definitely one of the titans of our movement, and just be mentioned in the same breath as him, and then thinking about some of the past award winners with Charles and Jonathan Bechtel and Mike Wrights and Lynn. It's just a very amazing honor.
And Greg, I should mention, you've been with the Texas Public Policy Foundation for more than 15 years? Is that right?
Yeah, right at 15 years, just over, yeah.
Tell us the story of Joe Overton in your words, since he means so much to you.
You know, I first learned of Joe at Mackinaw's Leadership Academy, and you first learn about the Overton Window and about how you shift policy-wise what is possible. And how to go about that process, which is what I'd call policy making, right? But then when you kind of like start peeling back the layers, you realize he's so much more than that, right? Like he's definitely a servant leader and a man, very principled man, and very adventurous. And he not only served and did great things for Mackinac, but he did it for the whole movement. And so a lot of what you saw at annual meeting and a lot of what you see happening in the States, it can be directly attributed to what Joe did.
That's right, and unfortunately his life was cut very short in a plane crash. And it is one of the highest honors to have the Overton Award. And the Overton Window is actually in the dictionary now. And we all will say things like, the Overton Window is open now in education, and it actually is, and in so many other policy areas too. And I know that the Texas Public Policy Foundation has seen great success in so many areas, from education reform to election integrity to even the word ESG is popping around everywhere right now. In large part, that is because of you and your leadership. Aside from just you and your secret sauce, why else do you think your organization is seeing such success in so many of these policy areas right now?
That's a great question, all right? And you're absolutely right that the Overton Window is like part of the lexicon now. Even AOC has used it, so we're trying to shift it away from what she's trying to do. But on the ESG stuff and thinking about success that we've had, I think the secret sauce is, it's like what Reagan used to say, right? Like, it's amazing what you can get done when you don't care about getting the credit. And that's what we do. We don't do the hard job of like casting votes and all these other things. We're not putting our personal reputation on the line behind every vote that is cast. What we're trying to do is create a mental model for politicians where they can do the right thing, where it's easy to do the right thing. And that is actually what shifting the Overton Window is, where like this has to happen. And we always talk about it with our staff is things need to feel inevitable, right? Like if you look at what happened with election integrity or ESG or what's happening now with education, like it's starting to feel inevitable that these things are happening. And that is what the Overton Window looks like in action. And it's what I think this network has been so good at is kind of grinding it out and having the grit to see it through.
Yeah, it has taken a lot of grit and grinding. What has it meant to you to be part of this network for so many years, and how has it changed your perspective and your strategy?
Well, absolutely. When I got into this world, I didn't know anything about it. I just happened to meet and get to know Brooke, and that's kind of how I ended up in this world. And as you go to annual meeting and you meet folks at other think tanks, you realize what a bigger support there is out there and a lot of ideas. And we always think that for states to be successful, they need to be competing against each other. And when we see what is happening in Florida and Texas, that really drives what we do in Texas. And we hope that what we're doing here drives in other states. Just a few weeks ago, I was meeting with the Tennessee governor, and he goes, I'm always hearing about what Texas is doing and Florida is doing. And so that is the network in action. And so knowing that you have the support and the ideas and all this intellect that comes behind all these people and all these groups, and then when you don't know what you're supposed to do or you don't know the answers to things, to get to know people and have people to call on is a huge benefit for all of us. When I mentioned some of the past Overton windows, when I look at Jonathan and Mike and all these other people, like these are the people that for years, like I've called on when I had questions, and so that's the true benefit of the network.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us after getting the big award, and congratulations. Enjoy the rest of your time in annual meeting.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.